where grace abounds and evil dies. Truth resounds above the lies. It's only found.
And Dominic, and I must say that I find this is really poignant to me right now because of Memorial Day. And you being in the field and being in battle, what does Memorial Day mean to you, Dominic?
We honor the living through the sacrifices of the dead, of all of the men and women who gave their lives for the idea, for the hope of what we are. And it's a moment to remember what those sacrifices were, and how we not only served and were functioning well for the United States military, but we returned home and became dutiful and productive citizens in our own land.
Dominic, why were you there?
Because I was asked to go. I was asked to go. I was there to, the big idea, the political idea was that I was there to stop the role of communism into the southern tier of Asia. That's what I know. That's what the history speaks of. My speak is about each beating heart. History speaks of all the men and women who went. I speak of each beating heart who suffered and survived, or suffered and died. I remember those.
What we're talking about right now, is that relayed in the book? Is it in the book?
Yes. Yeah. The book is passion. The book is daily. It's an untrained writer. Right. The ones who go to the war are the ones who they can get, and so they drafted the kids who are not students, and just like now, they pick the students and recruit them from neighborhoods where there are less hope for advancement, less hope for personal development.
One of the things we say about journals is, I hope I have enough time to burn my journals before I die, because they're not necessarily the best written. But when you look at something like this, you then get the sense of what the person is going through. And that's why when books are put together like this, unlike last month's where the mom edited down the stories and created them as learning stories, what you get here is, this is a scared 19-year-old who wasn't really, you asked the question, why were you there? My recollection as a 6th grader was no one was really given a choice. Right. There was some who that was their natural career, but our 18-year-olds were told, this is what you do for your country. And that comes through very much, especially after being wounded. I mean, the shock of being wounded so early into the game.
And having been there, Dominic, you were there. From a humanity standpoint, why do we not learn from each previous war?
It's a very difficult question for me to answer. I know that all war is wrong. I believe that we need not have been in Vietnam. I believe that the loss of life, the destruction of property, and the reshaping of history was a forced effort. It was intentional. It seemed to be that I understood the Vietnamese people gentle and wanting peace, and the force of what my command was as a soldier was to understand something else of them. And so I learned that the politic, the shape of a nation, the idea that a nation might feed its soldiers is very different from what the idea that a soldier might find in a grassy hut or in a street in a foreign country. We're talking.
As you're relating this, do you live this every day? Does it never go away?
My life is so much more alive because I was wounded. I am sensually focused. I experienced near death, and
when you come that close, then you experience life to the fullest. Do you not?
I can see, smell, hear, taste, and touch better right now than
and
because
you appreciate
of it.
life more.
I appreciate it very, very much.
And we know the draft was in place during the Vietnam War.
19,000 a month.
But there were many young men who enlisted and voluntarily went into service.
Yes. and I served beside those. Many of them were from regions that were not inner city regions. Many of those young men who enlisted were from farm communities in Ohio or Iowa or Tennessee.
Does the psychological scar ever go away? I mean, you probably are in touch with, I suspect you're in touch with other soldiers that were in battle with you.
Yes.
Does it ever go away?
No. It's like a spring. You pull it out past its tension, it never goes back. It's broken. You carry that with you. It's what we carry. And
It's part of what makes you Dominique today.
it's what we are.
Yeah.
And we return what we learned to our children. I wish my son would have less of a difficulty with this current conflict.
Do you have more compassion now?
My compassion is heightened. Compassion means to suffer with. I suffer with the people who are serving their country and the people who we hurt in foreign countries because of our service.
Will we ever realize, when I asked the question, why do we not learn from previous wars, the question will never be answered probably sufficiently and effectively, but we cannot get along in our own country. What do we expect about getting along with another country? We can't even get along in our own United States, our own nation.
Well, that's the beauty of I'm a lawyer.
There's no beauty in being a lawyer. We can't get along.
See, I knew there was a golden egg here somewhere.
The beauty of that disagreement is what makes America great.
Yeah.
We have a due process constitution.
I think we just need to learn better ways to communicate our differences.
Yet
and
not when it
that's
takes
what
us to conflict.
Right.
Yeah.
Armed conflict.
That's
We need to stay civil.
Yes. Where can we find the book?
You can get that book on Amazon.com or at Barnes & Noble. It's called The GI's Vietnam Diary. It's the account as it happened while I was in Vietnam.
A pleasure meeting you.
God bless you. Thank you so much. My
for
pleasure.
being on the program, as always.
You both are
Andrew.
very special. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.